The following video was recorded on location in my state-of-the-art office in the corner of my first floor apartment. If you like what you're about to hear, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell in the upper right corner.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good man, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
Yeah, dude, no worries.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad we were able to make this work out because you guys have an amazing new album coming out, Shadows Inside, coming out next Friday, and I gotta say, this is some of the best work you guys have ever done.
Thanks, man. Did you get to hear the record?
I did. I've had it for about a week or two now, and I've been listening to it every day, and I just really love what you guys are doing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, not a problem. So how did this whole songwriting process begin for Shadows Inside?
Sorry, what was that?
How did the songwriting process begin for Shadows Inside?
Oh, yeah. When we were, I feel like we're always pretty much writing on tour. There's always, either Justin or BJ are always busting out just sort of ideas and recording them when they come up with them and everything. And on this record, we sort of wanted to take it to the next level. We wanted to sort of write a record that was bigger than what the band has done or has been before, and sort of like we didn't really throw away any ideas. Like back in the day, we tried to be safe and try to make sure like everyone would be happy. And like we felt like we got to this point to where we're like we really shouldn't do that. We should put the weird, ambitious stuff into the record and see what happens, because that's like maybe it'll come out great. And we did that for a few songs. And like, oh my gosh, this record sounds insane if we don't delete things and like sort of not really stay in our safe zone and sort of feel uncomfortable. And yeah, I think it came out how it is now. And I think, like you said, it'll sound like any other Miss May record. And it's just like, I don't know, it feels so refreshing too, because I listen to it. I've been listening to it every day since December, and I'm like, damn, this is all over the place, and it's really ambitious for a metal band.
Yeah, that's what I really loved about the album, is that it's still the core of Miss May. I mean, you guys keep the sound that you guys are known for, but you go into so many different territories and dynamics without losing who you guys are, and it came out brilliantly. I mean, all the songs work so well together. The track listing is great in that order. I mean, everything just worked out fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really crazy too how we built this one up. Was we did all of that before vocals or any ideas of what songs were about. So when we were doing the track listing and sorting everything, we did it sort of just on the instrumental vibes and what the feelings were on the record. And so doing that and then putting lyrics over it, it's just cool that we did that ahead of time, because the whole record's based on vibes and feelings. And I think that gives it such a good play through from the beginning to end.
And how did that inspire you when it came to the lyrics, going about it that way?
Well, we had so much time off before we did the record, or not time off, but we were taking time off to do the record, and we were going through, we were leaving our management at the time, and we were going through legal battles, and it was just a really sticky time. And all that time off, I was sort of stuck in my head, and I feel like the longer you like aren't doing something and you're sitting thinking to yourself, you're gonna have a bunch of weird things come up. And I made a whole list of topics I wanted to touch base on, and a lot of them for the first time are sort of about like self-doubt and about sort of not believing in yourself, which is really weird because we never had songs like that, but that's how I was feeling. And I didn't really know if I wanted to write that, but once again, going back to feeling uncomfortable, I was like, maybe I should write that because it's out of like my comfort zone. And the only reason I was feeling that way is because of this legal battle, and I didn't know if we were going to survive through it. I'm like, we could lose like everything. And yeah, and then I was writing about these changes and everything, and I also was super inspired at the same time, though, because I just moved to LA, and that's like we're lost in the gray. It's about like getting out of the gray and getting out of what you're used to and just going for it. And I just did that, and then Ryan just got a huge relationship. So there's all these things were happening, and there was no really theme to the record until the record was done, and we sat back and looked at it, and I'm like, wow, all these songs are really about big life changes we went through as a band, and but it's all about like our past and everything that's sort of behind us, and everyone sort of has those pasts, and that's what we wanted to, when we came up with the title and everything, we were like, we really want this record to sort of let everyone know it's okay to have good and bad past, like everyone has those shadows. We wanted to document all the ones we went through as a band.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see that this point in your guys' career. I mean, with all the stuff that you guys have been going through lately, and, you know, having 5 albums prior to this, I mean, a lot of bands aren't able to last as long as you guys have, and now having that rejuvenation now with the 6th album, With Shadows Inside, and just from a lyrical standpoint, from a musical standpoint, getting on an awesome new label, all these great opportunities that are coming up now. I mean, it's great to see this rejuvenation going on in the band.
Yeah, dude, it's seriously, it's the best feeling. I think I could speak for everyone else in the band. It's the best vibes and the best attitude everyone has been in. And it feels like we're 16 again, and we just signed our first record deal. It feels like, which is crazy, because we weren't even thinking about the 10-year thing this year, that we've been a band that long. And that came up, and to us, it feels like we just started. Like, it's just like, it's just now getting, like, crazy, and it's so refreshing. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah, and like I said before, some bands don't even make it this long. Sometimes they'll have like 1 or 2 albums that skyrocket them and then they fade away immediately, but you guys just keep growing and growing and growing, and it's great to see that from
Thanks, man.
Oh, not a problem. And it's great to see that from the musical standpoint as well, because, you know, it's just like sometimes bands just want to recreate the same album over and over again, but you guys this time around, you didn't want to do that. You wanted to experiment and you wanted to try new sounds, and you guys did it successfully.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we sort of marched on our bucket list. We did the main stage Warped Tour, we did the cover of every magazine we ever dreamed of, we toured with every dream band, and it sort of felt like in a stagnant area, and it's like, where do we go to next? Like, what are we going to do? And that's like, when we're writing this record, it's like, let's write something. Because we, honestly, in our heads, we don't know what's next, because, like, we've done everything, like, but you can't sort of get thrown in the towel early, because you've accomplished everything you want to accomplish, so we're like, what is the next level? Like, what can we accomplish? And for this, like, goes back to what I said earlier, right, trying to figure this band. I think that gives us a refreshing look too, is that we're about to embark on something that we've never done before, because we've done the alternative presses, we've done the Warped Tours, we've done all that, and it's like, what's next? Like, where can metal go? And then you see all these bands with fire on stage and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, we're gonna go for it. Let's like really, really go for it.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that you guys are doing it too, because ever since I discovered you guys, I've always loved what you guys have done. I mean, you've always stuck out from bands that have come out around that same time, and you guys are still going just as strong. I mean, being able to sell out headlining shows and, you know, just like rave receptions that's going on for the singles that I've seen so far. And once they finally get to check out the album next week, I mean, fans are just going to go ballistic over what you guys are doing.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. I've never been so anxious in my life, I feel like. And to me, the climax, the best parts of the record aren't even released as the 3 songs that are out yet. I'm like, man, they don't even know that it gets better than this. It's not like most records where you drop all the big songs and then you're like, okay, now here's 7 to jam. It's like, to us in the band, like, when we're deciding 6 songs to release, we're like, man, it doesn't really matter, because there's so many that I can't wait for people to hear.
Oh, yeah, and I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, as much as I do love the singles, much like you said, some of the best songs are the ones that people have not heard yet. I mean, and that's what's needed in an album. I mean, it's one thing to be able to say that a single is your best song off this album or something, but you need a reason for people to go and buy the album and not just the single, and you guys have done that this time around. I mean, throughout the entire album, it's just awesome from start to finish.
Dude, I think this one's special, man. Like, I think when we're recording it too, we're like, wow, something's happening, and it's so cool, because you every time you go to record a record, you're beating yourself, and you have to. You always have that weight on your shoulders of like, well, like for us, it's like, oh, hey, mister, forgive and forget, and it's like we have all these big weights, and you're like, man, like we have to beat that this time, and like not only beat it, but we have to beat it to where people want to go to the next level with us, and like come with us, and not just want to hear those songs. And so every time you go to write a song, that you have to think of that, and it stresses you out. And then we wrote this, and we're getting the feedback, and we're like, I think we actually beat ourselves. We actually did the best we can, like this, or not the best we can, but the best we've ever released. And I'm so happy to hear reviews and talk to people I've heard the record, like, because it hasn't started happening until this last week. So everyone's like, yeah, I like the new singles. I'm like, dude, I want you to hear the record. So I'm happy I get to talk to you and you heard it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And yeah, I've been listening to it about once a day and just like really digesting everything. And I love the direction that you guys are going in. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, you guys, it's still a Miss May I record. You can tell it's you guys, but you guys have evolved so much in the past decade and really come to your own. I mean, as much as songs like Hey Mister are, you know, like staples for you guys, I'm glad to see that you guys are taking this progression and evolving the sound that you have, rather than feeling like you have to write the same album over and over again.
Oh, dude, yeah, exactly. And it's really cool, too, because there's some of this nostalgic stuff in this record that I'm really happy to put in there, because it's, like, stuff that we listen to and we grew up listening to. And it's, like, when we were writing, we're like, that's, like I said, back to where we deleted stuff on the day. It's, like, I love listening to this record for me, personally, because there's so many, like, riffs and, like, even that acoustic part and all these little parts. I'm like, that's what like, when I was a kid, that's what I loved about, like, the metal bands I listened to. So we just went for it, and, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool because it's still our sound, but there's so many, like, I'm excited for fans that aren't fans of this to have listened to it, because if they are old school metal fans, or, like, maybe a 14-year-old that gets into metal, it's like, these are the riffs and the parts of songs I want them to hear, because this is, like, when I was a kid, the metal records that came out that got me into metal. You know what I mean? Like, when Oceans Between Us came out and Into Heartache, I was like, this is the music I'm going to listen to. Like, this changed my life. Like, and that's, like, the record we wanted to sort of release for kids to be, like, grab a hold of and be like, this is the music we want to jam.
Yeah, and again, I got to say that from my standpoint as a fan, as radio show host, journalist, all of that. I mean, you guys have definitely done that. I mean, once people are able to latch onto the album next week, I mean, I think they'll be able to hear those seminal riffs that are going on. I mean, like harkening back to a decade ago, like you mentioned with An Ocean Between Us and The End of Heartache, those staples in that sound. But you guys have updated it with your guys' sound, your guys' progression over the years, and I think it really has something for everybody who loves this style of metal or is looking to branch into this, because it's got a little bit of something for everybody. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, we tried really hard for that.
Yeah, and those are always the most fun albums for me to enjoy just as a fan. I mean, rather than just like hearing a couple standout songs and a lot of filler, I want to be able to listen to an album from start to finish and enjoy it the entire way through, and that's what Shadows Inside is.
Oh, thank you very much. Like I said, the whole record was awesome. The vibe. It was very like organic and not really strategically done to satisfy listeners, but sort of organically done to just feel right and to like have that actual feeling of the songs, and not just, okay, this is a light song, we should go into a heavy song. All these like textbook plans that everyone puts together, it's like this one put together because we're like, this is like we obviously try different layouts of it. This is the layout that like it feels natural and it feels how it should be, and everything is just based off like how it naturally should feel and organic. And we never approached a record like that. And I think it's really cool because that's just a human nature thing. Because now everyone else hearing it's like, hey, it fits together well. Yeah, isn't that weird? Because like we felt the same way. Like, and we even bounced it off other people and sat in rooms with other people. Like, should this go here? And like it's crazy that the human chemistry, everyone can sort of feel the same emotion just from instrument.
Thinking about that, do you feel like you guys wish you would have done this sooner than you have, or do you feel like this was the right time to be able to branch out like you have?
I honestly think it's the right time, and that might be the optimistic person in me saying that and thinking of the cup half full, but I think with the label changing and with how well we're performing and the production we're bringing, like, it's seriously everything's falling into place to where we are Miss May I right now. Like, when people come to shows, it's not like they're seeing a band live. It's like we can actually, because we sort of took the time and took the effort to give them a performance, and now being on a label that's one of the biggest metal labels internationally, I'm happy that they're the ones that get to release it. Like, everything is falling into place to where it's like, this is a great time for this record to be done.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Like I was saying before, and I just keep praising the album because I love what you guys are doing with the natural experimentation from the normal, which I always appreciate in a band. I mean, whether it works out positively or negatively, I love that when a band is writing for themselves and hoping the crowd will enjoy what they're doing as well, rather than feeling they have to rehash anything. But again, just with this album, I mean, whether it's the acoustic parts, the ultra heavy parts that are going on, everything in between, the style changes, everything. I mean, it's just, it's great to see bands taking this approach, and I really hope that, like 10 years ago, with bands like As I Lay Dying and Killswitch and Darkest Hour and all those bands who really influence sounds that are going on now, that this album can lead that into the future too, and know that you...
Yeah, and it sounds weird because it's only the first record that we like sort of beat ourselves to where we could do that. And I think if people start that way young, then I think that's like the smartest thing, is to not really sort of believe in yourself and trust that what you're doing what people will like. Because if you start thinking about what people will like, and you start deleting stuff because it's not safe, you start writing because you're like, this is what people love, then it's going to be like every other record. And that's like, not saying that every Miss May record's like every other record, but that's how we sort of approached each one until this one, and approaching it and believing in ourselves instead of approaching it.
Yeah, and honestly, it was for the best. I mean, and I'm not just talking about that as far as like sales or anything like that. I'm talking about that like purely from a musician standpoint, because you never want your music to feel stagnant. I mean, you want to be proud of the music that you made before, during, and after a certain point.
And there's still old songs that we play sometimes. I'm like, man, I would change that, or man, this isn't like my favorite, or this isn't the greatest. And like when we play those 3 new songs live, I'm like, obviously the new songs are a little bit fresher, but I'm like, I couldn't even imagine them ever feeling old. Like, I don't like when we play Shadows on the Side every night. I'm like, there's no way I'll get like old, like over this song. Like, this is so fun to play live, and like, and then it's like, oh, Lost Your Game. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, these songs are just so like, because it's all now. It's like not us trying to impress anybody. It's us rocking out, and I'm just like, it's so fun. And that might all play into, like I said, of us feeling refreshed and like kids again, because that's how it feels. We're just rocking out to these songs that we didn't write for anybody but ourselves, and awesome.
And there's no better feeling than being able to put out an album for yourselves and having the fan base embrace it as much as you guys do.
Yeah, dude, it's that, seriously, that's the craziest. Like, because, like you said, you telling me that you like the record and you think it's the best Miss May record, like, there's 95% of the interviews bonus I've done, which is the most press I've ever done for any record, have said the same thing. And, like, we don't ask people to do that. And the 5 records we did in the past, no one said that. And they're always like, hey, it's a good record. But to actually hear that feedback, it's crazy. And I think that's why I'm so anxious. And it doesn't go unappreciated. Like, we really appreciate you guys going out of your way and praising the record. Thank you very much for that.
Oh, absolutely. And I never think of anything like a paid advertisement or anything. I mean, like, the label's not paying me to say nice words about you guys. I mean, it's purely from my thoughts.
Nice stuff about, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's crazy because, like, that's always what every band guy wants to hear when they talk to an interview. It's like, I want to answer this phone and say it's the best record we ever released. And, like, that's, like, your dream. And then this record, we're getting all these calls, and I was like, hey, this is the best record you've done. I'm like, oh, my God, this is awesome. Like, thank you. Like, we really tried, and we took so much time on this one. We've never taken this much time. Like, we sort of went MIA too. We didn't want to post on social media or really like promote the band if we're not out playing and doing stuff. And on top of the whole legal thing that's happened too, is like we just went MIA, focused on this record and focused on anything else. And yeah, I think all of that invested into it really made this.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it from my way as well. I mean, I like being able to show off, like, the positive things that are going on, like a new album, new touring, new live DVD, whatever the case is for whatever particular person I'm talking to. I mean, I don't like focusing on negative stuff unless it has, like, a good outcome at the end. I mean, I could have went to this whole interview, like, just talking about the legality problems and everything and make this a very depressing interview, or we could talk about what came after that, which is the best Miss May album to date, and I'd rather focus on that.
Yeah, and we're trying to do the same on tour, and the sort of attitude we're approaching everything with, because we always used to have that sort of negative attitude, and that's like, obviously, that's what magazines want to talk about, and then when you actually have negative stuff going on, you want to talk about it too, but right now we're like, we just got this record done, we got out of this huge battle, like, we're going to stick positive and be the most positive we've ever been, and it's been great.
Yeah, and I wish more people would focus on that stuff. I mean, it's so easy for, like, the metal outlets to create clickbait articles out of context quotes about bad situations, whereas my approach is just to talk about good, positive things, and I would rather have that get showcased than negative things, because we need positivity in life, especially with what's going on these days, and when it can come from great music like Miss May and a great album like Shadows Inside, that needs promotion.
Oh, well, hey, dude, I really appreciate it. Yeah, and that's what we've been trying to do, and it's so awesome that every call we've had, everything we've done, it's been so positive. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and it's so cool to see that, too. I mean, you guys, just like we experienced, I mean, you guys are out on tour right now, heading out through Texas right now, and it's great to see that you guys are able to play the new songs live before some people get the chance to hear them. I mean, there's some people in the crowd right now who haven't had a chance to hear the new singles at all that are getting their first experience of it live, and that's a really cool feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the response, dude, it's even better live than it's been online. Like, it's even people haven't heard it, like the interaction, how much fun everyone's having is just next level. It's so fun.
So once the album comes out next Friday, what is the plans for Miss May I next?
Well, the biggest thing now is we want to give people a show. So I think this whole time around, we're doing a bunch of world stuff that's already getting planned, and we're doing a bunch of headlining, which we haven't done in 5 years. I'm happy we waited for this record, and we're bringing a show to people this time. It's not 5 guys on stage playing; it's 5 guys giving you a show. We have this production that we built for Shadows Inside, like everything down to what's on stage and like what the guys are playing, and like it's all for this record and for this experience. We want to give that experience for all the listeners and everyone coming to concerts, and so that's what's next. It's just we literally are touring nonstop all around the world and doing the biggest shows we've done and bringing the biggest production because we really want people to not just come to a show but really experience a show, and that's new for Miss May. We never got to do that, and I think it's that's what we're working on right now, and we're playing a lot of countries that we haven't played, which is really cool, and some countries have been some of our biggest markets, but we've never been able to make it there. And with all this new team and getting out of all the stuff we were in that was holding us back, we're really making a point to do that. So it's gonna be it's seriously like starting tomorrow. It's gonna be the start of the craziest ride.
Oh, that is just so cool, and I couldn't be happier for you guys. I mean, now that all the dark, troublesome stuff is now in the recent past, but now in the past, and you guys are able to focus on a killer new album, focus on touring, going to countries that you never dreamed that you were going to be able to play live, let alone headline in. And it's so awesome to see that you guys have survived everything from just being in a band for over 10 years and just being as strong as ever.
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, I don't think it's anything anyone would have planned or expected, but it's something we're really thankful for, and it's crazy, man. It's melting our brains. It's insane that this is we're in right now, but we're really excited.
Well, awesome. Well, again, thank you so very much for taking the time to talk to me and help promote the brand new album from Miss May I, which is coming out next Friday. I couldn't recommend it more if you are into this style or you want to venture off into this style, because you guys got a little bit of everything for everyone that wants to experience this kind of music, and you made an album for yourselves, and you didn't abandon the fans. I mean, if they're true fans, they will be able to find something to really appreciate about this album, and me being a music fan, I just love the experimentation. I love the dynamics that's going on, and I just love where you guys are at right now, and I can't wait to see this stuff live and wait for every album to come after.
Oh, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that.
Before we're done, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
Yeah, well, we have the 2 new music videos. We have Shadows Inside and Lost in the Gray. We got a bunch of new merch dropping the day of the record release, and everything's at MissMayImusic.com. Stay in touch, and hopefully we have tours coming up, so come out to a show and really see something crazy.